The rain had just stopped when the billionaire's black SUV rolled into the small, oil-stained auto shop on the edge of town. It wasn't a place she would ever choose, but her daughter's wheelchair-accessible van had broken down nearby. With no other option, she stepped out, heels sinking into damp gravel, uncertainty written across her face. Inside the van sat her 12-year-old daughter, pale and quiet, legs motionless beneath a soft blanket. An accident years ago had taken her ability to walk, and with it, much of her joy. Doctors, specialists, and experimental therapies had promised hope, but delivered only limits. Her mother had learned to hide her pain behind wealth and control. The mechanic wiped his hands on a rag and approached slowly. His clothes were worn, his shop outdated, but his eyes were calm and attentive. He spoke gently to the girl first, asking her name, asking what music she liked, making her smile before even glancing at the vehicle. The billionaire watched, surprised by his ease. As he inspected the van, he noticed the custom mobility system beneath it, advanced, expensive, and poorly integrated. "Who installed this?" he asked quietly. The mother replied that it came from the best medical engineering firm in the country. He nodded, but his expression said something else entirely. While fixing the immediate problem, the mechanic asked permission to look at the wheelchair's control system. The mother hesitated, then agreed, assuming it would make no difference. The mechanic studied it closely, crouching for a long time, murmuring calculations under his breath, like a man solving a puzzle he'd been waiting years to see. He explained that before becoming a mechanic, he had worked with adaptive machines while caring for his own brother, who had been paralyzed. When insurance failed them, he learned to build solutions himself. "Not miracles," he said, "just better connections between machines and people." The girl listened closely, hope flickering. Over the next few days, the billionaire returned. At first skeptical, then curious. The mechanic stayed late, modifying sensors, adjusting feedback systems, creating a hybrid control interface no lab had ever offered. He refused payment, asking only for time and permission. "Let me try," he kept saying. On the 5th day, he asked the girl to sit upright. The shop was quiet as he connected the final component. Her mother stood frozen, heart pounding, afraid to believe. The mechanic spoke softly, guiding the girl's breathing, telling her to trust what she felt, not what she feared. Then it happened. Her foot twitched, just slightly, but enough. The girl gasped. The mechanic adjusted a setting, and slowly, trembling with effort, her leg responded again. Tears streamed down the mother's face as she covered her mouth, watching something no doctor had ever shown them. With support bars installed and the mechanic holding her steady, the girl stood, only for seconds, but she stood. The shop seemed to disappear as the moment filled the air. The billionaire collapsed into a chair, sobbing freely, years of grief pouring out at once, replaced by something fragile and new. The mechanic stepped back, giving them space. He never claimed credit, never called it a cure. Her body remembered, he said simply. It just needed the right language. Medical specialists later confirmed it. New neural engagement, sparked by mechanical precision and emotional safety. The story spread quickly. Reporters came. Investors called. The mechanic refused fame, choosing instead to open a small foundation with the billionaire's support, offering adaptive technology to families who couldn't afford it. The billionaire found something wealth had never given her, gratitude without power. And the girl, she took her first assisted steps weeks later, smiling brighter than anyone had ever seen. Every time she returned to the shop, she waved proudly at the man who didn't promise a miracle, but believed enough to try.